welcome back to the channel. I'm Callie, and today I'm going to be doing a bookshelf tour. So these are the three main shelves that you typically see. These are all the Billies from IKEA, and then I organize all of my bookshelves, actually technically starting all the way up here at the top where I can't even reach. I actually have to use a step stool. Don't ask questions. I do it alphabetically by author. So it goes down this way and starts up again, and I don't do the weird zigzaggy thing. It's just one end and goes, one end and goes. Similar with the items. I try and keep, especially if they're bookish related or related to a specific author or series, I try and keep it relatively together. Like I have this To Kill a Kingdom mug is by To Kill a Kingdom. Sometimes I can't really do that because I want to be able to see them, and a lot of my favorite authors have last names at the end of the alphabet, and so are on the bottom of the shelves, and I want to see the things. So sometimes there's in order, sometimes it's chaos. It's a nice mix. So for these are the Billy skinny shelves, and I use these for my Harry Potter collection, my Sarah J. Maas collection. I also use it for my special edition, so anything that comes in an Owl Crate, special books. I also have Book of the Month all the way down at the bottom, and then my classics, including my Shakespeare collection, at the bottom of these shelves. And again, similar to, like, these are all of my Sarah J. Maas, not all of my Sarah J. Maas things, but a good chunk of them. And I have them all my Harry Potter stuff. I even put stuff on the top because I run out of room. Those are all the shelves I'll be going over, so without further ado, let's get started with the A's. So for the top of my shelves, I have the Lego Hogwarts Castle, which has a bunch of really fun details. Like in here is the path to the Sorcerer's Stone. There's like the keys, the chessboard. There's the mirror somewhere. There's also the founders. I have a bunch of stuff up here that I can't really see, but it's kind of just like my little Hogwarts homage, because moving over, I then have Hagrid's hut with Buckbeak over there in the back, and then I have the Hogwarts Express Station, and that's kind of my little Hogwartsy area. I even have like a bunch of minifigures of Harry Potter characters kind of going on in the back there, and then I actually get into the start of my bookshelf because I have zero self-control and needed more space, so I put them on the top. The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Vengeance and Virtue, both by Tomi Adeyemi, The Beautiful and the Damned by Renee Ahdieh, The Wrath and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh, Girl Gone Viral by Arvin Ahmadi, Zenith and Nexus by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings, Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, Shout by Laurie Halse Anderson, Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson, Tiger Lily by Jody Lynn Anderson, The Hummingbird Dagger by Cindy Anstey, The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and The Crown of Gilded Bones, both by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And yes, I do have book one, but Sarah currently has it. Damsel by Elena K. Arnold, Onyx and Ivory and Shadow and Flame by Mindy Arnett, The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Moving on to actually in the shelves, I have the continuation of the A's going into the B's. For items, I have this Briarwick Hawk candle, which is from the From Blood and Ash series. I have an Elven tiara, which is from Sweet Bee on Amazon. I have a Mount Ruin candle, which is from the Grace and Fury series, as well as a Alice in Wonderland teacup. Both are from book boxes. And I have the companion journal to the Grishaverse, The Severed Moon by Leigh Bardugo. So first up, I have Red Queen, Glass Sword, King's Cage, Warstorm, and The Broken Throne, all by Victoria Aveyard. Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard, Grace and Fury and Queen of Ruin by Tracy Bangert, Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, King of Scars and Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, The Language of Thorns and the Lives of Saints by Leigh Bardugo, Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron, Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Barshadoost, Soul of Cinder by Brie Barton. Moving over, we continue with our B's. So on this shelf for items, I have a couple of Funkos, mainly cute ones. So I've got this Vulpix, this Frocked Stitch, Mickey from The Wizard's Apprentice. I have this Juicy Fruit tin, which is covered in little plush snifflers. Happily and Madly by Alexis Bass. Lovely War by Julie Berry. The Modern Fairy Tales Collection by Holly Black. The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, The Queen of Nothing, and How the King of Elfame Learned to Hate Stories, all by Holly Black. The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. The Beckoning Shadow by Catherine Blair. 3 Dark Crowns, 1 Dark Throne, 2 Dark Reigns, 5 Dark Fates, and The Queens of Fenburn, all by Kendar Blake. Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendar Blake. Stormrise by Gillian Boehm. The Infinity Chords by Akemi Dawn Bowman. The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. Once Upon a Dream, As Old as Time, Part of Your World, Straight On Till Morning, and Unbirthday, all by Liz Braswell. And the final shelf within the top row. For items, I have this Children of Blood and Bone candle from a book box. I have 6 from the movie Soul. I've got 2 more Briarwick candles, Fireheart and Valaris. Fireheart is from Throne of Glass. Valaris is from A Court of Thorns and Roses. And then I have a Tafiti and Moana Funko Pop. The Beholder and the Boundless by Anna Bright. Sky Without Stars in Between Burning Worlds by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. Ink and Bone and Paper and Fire by Rachel Kane. Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender. Mirror Mirror, Conceal Don't Feel and Go the Distance by Jen Calanita. Once and Future and Sword in the Stars by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy. The Empire of Dreams by Ray Carson. Graceling, Bitter Blue and Fire by Kristen Kishore. The Betrothed by Kiera Cass. The Siren by Kiera Cass. Muse by Brittany Cavallaro. The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes, The Last Ever After, and Quests for Glory, all by Soman Chainani. Moving on down to the second row, we have more of the C's. So for items, I have this really cool bookend of Minas Tirith that I stole from my dad. And next to it is Boromir. Moving over, I have a Kingdom of the Wicked mug, which holds all the bookmarks that I receive from book boxes or buy randomly. And then next to that, I have Katniss Everdeen in the 74th Annual Hunger Games, as well as her dress from that movie. Her Girl on Fire dress from that movie. The City of Brass, The Kingdom of Copper, The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. The Speaker and the Storyteller by Tracy Chi. Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. The Gilded Wolves and the Silvered Serpents by Roshani Chachki. To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Cristo. The Last Namsara, The Caged Queen, and the Skyweaver by Kristen Ciccarelli. Ink, Iron, and Glass by Gwendolyn Clare. Mermaid Moon by Suzanne Kokel. A Conspiracy of Stars by Olivia A. Cole. I have a paperback and hardcover edition of The Hunger Games, and then Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, all by Suzanne Collins. Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova. A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. Moving over to the next shelf, this goes from C to E. So for items, I have a continuation of my Katniss collection, so her in the wedding dress and the Mockingjay dress. Up here, I have this really cool looking forest princess dark crown from Sweet V on Amazon. I have this cute little Among Us plush and a Kris Kringle Market mug that I got when I went there in 2019. The Missing of Claire de Lune and the Memory of Babel by Christelle Dabos. Mirage and the Court of Lions by Somaya Duad. Alex and Eliza, Love and War, All for One, all by Melissa De La Cruz. The Isle of the Lost by Melissa De La Cruz. Truth Witch, Wind Witch, Sight Witch, and Blood Witch, all by Susan Dennard. The Tale of Despereaux by Kate DeMicchio. The Stars We Steal by Alexa Dawn. Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. Deep Blue, Rogue Wave, Dark Tide, and Sea Spell, all by Jennifer Donnelly. A Northern Light by Jennifer Donnelly. The Mermaid Trials and Mermaid Academy by Cameron Drake. Fire and Heist by Sarah Beth Durst. Pet by Kelly Emezi. Wings of Ebony by J.L. The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. The last shelf in this row goes from E to G. For items, I have this little bobblehead Baby Yoda. I have a stuffed Niffler hiding in the corner. I have these 3 different little candles. 2 are from Briarwick, The Enchanted Library, and Abraxos. And then I have Goblin Grove, which is from a book box. Over here, I have the pre-order incentive from Sky Beyond a Storm, the mug, and the box. And this mug actually holds all of the bookmarks I have gotten from pre-order incentives. Crown of Oblivion by Julie Eschbau. The Cerulean and the Alcazar, both by Amy Ewing. We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faisal. King of Fools and Queen of Volts by Amanda Foody. The Octonumi by Trevor Allen Forrest. Beyond the Ruby Veil by Mara Fitzgerald. Reign the Earth and Imprison the Sky by A.C. Gauguin. Caraval, Legendary, and Finale by Stephanie Garber. The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. Lady Hotspur by Tessa Grattan. Defy the Stars, Defy the Worlds, Defy the Fates, all by Claudia Gray. The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. Moving back down, I've got the H's into the J's. So for items, I have a couple of different things. I have this little tea light candle holder in the shape of a lantern. This is actually push pins in a little star jar. I have another crown from Sweet Fee, a little bit more ornate. I have a Sarah J. Maas plaque, and then Baby Pegasus and Steamboat Mickey. The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackworth. The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. Eight Will Fall by Sarah Harrion. Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. Shadow Scale by Rachel Hartman. Unpregnant by Jenny Hendricks and Ted Kaplan. Sea Witch and Sea Witch Rising by Sarah Henning. The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. Take a Hint, Danny Brown and Actor Age Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. The Great Hunt and the Great Pursuit by Wendy Higgins. Cruel Beauty and Crimson Bound by Rosamond Hodge. Everless and Evermore by Sarah Holland. The Lantern's Ember by Colleen Huck. Tiger's Curse by Colleen Huck. The Good Luck Charm by Helena Hunting. Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting. Ray Bearer by Jordan Ifueko. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. Moving on over, we have the J's continuing on to the K's. For items, I just have a couple of candles and a little bath salt thing. I have a tin from Illumine. I have my Anastasia tiara, a little sign that says read what you love what you read. Couple more candles, and Elsa from Frozen 2. Dark Shores and Dark Skies by Danielle L. Jensen. Queen Shadow by E.K. Johnston. Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. Aurora Rising and Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Illumine, Obsidio, and Memento by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Unearthed and Undying by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. A Heart So Fierce and Broken and a Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmer. More Than We Can Tell by Bridget Kemmer. Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmer. The Diabolic and the Empress by S.J. Kincaid. The 100th Queen by Emily R. King. The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. Storm Dancer by Jay Kristoff. Nevernight, God's Grave, and Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff. And finishing out this row, we have the K's moving into the L's. For items, I have a Dragon Funko from Game of Thrones. This is a Nevernight mug. There's a Little Witch in All of Us dish. I have a Slytherin crown. I have a shell from a trip to Florida, and a Baby Yoda eating a frog Funko. It's actually a bobblehead. There's also a necklace, which was the pre-order incentive for Blade of Secrets. Lifelike, Deviant, and True Life by Jay Kristoff. Steel Crow Saga by Paul Kruger. The Poppy War, The Dragon Republic, and The Burning God by R.F. Kwong. Courting Darkness by Robin Lefevers. Beyond a Darkened Shore by Jessica Leek. The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. Broken Web by Lori M. Lee. Called Upon by Bethany Lee. Winter Spell by Claire Legrand. Furyborn, King's Bane, and Lightbringer by Claire Legrand. Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller. Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller. Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim. Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott with Mickey Daughtry and Tobias Iaconis. Moving downward again, this is the L's moving into the M's. For items, I have this nano Lego Eiffel Tower, a candle, and another little dish based off of Eros and his lover. The Valiant, the Defiant, and the Triumphant by Leslie Livingston. Legend by Marie Lu, Sky Hunter by Marie Lu, Warcross and Wild Card by Marie Lu, Shadow Frost by Coco Ma, The Kinder Poison by Natalie May, An Emotion of Great Delight by Tahara Mafi, Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, Shatter Me, Unite Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Find Me by Tahara Mafi, Restore Me, Defy Me, and Imagine Me by Tahara Mafi, Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco, Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh, The Novice, The Inquisition, The Battle Mage, The Outcast, and The Summoner's Handbook, all by Taran Matharu. Moving over, continuing with the M's for decoration. This is sort of my Ariel shelf, so I have them in order as her outfits appear in the film. So we have the mermaid on the shore, her pink dress, into the village when she gets her legs, and the wedding dress. So that's just my little Ariel collection. I also have back here a Lunar Chronicles necklace that I got from a book box. The Chosen and the Challenger by Taran Matharu. The Last Magician and the Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell. Every Hearted Doorway, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna Maguire. Heroine by Mindy McGinnis. The Initial Insult by Mindy McGinnis. A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGinnis. The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. American Royals by Catherine McGee. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. The Orphan Queen by Jody Meadows. Before She Ignites, As She Ascends, and When She Reigns by Jody Meadows. Keeper of the Lost Cities Legacy by Shannon Messenger. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, and Winter, all by Marissa Meyer. And the last shelf in this row, we finish out the M's and make it all the way to the P's. For items, I have a Daenerys Targaryen Funko as well as a candle, and then another Elsa Funko that actually has to lean up against the books because she doesn't stand up correctly. A light up sign that says Books, Coffee, Disney. A Mimikyu Pokemon Lego, and a Sylveon candle. Fairest and Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. Renegades, Arch Enemies, and Supernova by Marissa Meyer. Echo North by Joanne Ruth Meyer. Cursed by Frank Miller and Thomas Wheeler. Mask of Shadows by Lindsay Miller. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Circe by Madeline Miller. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. Slay by Brittany Morris. A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. Nocturna by Maya Motain. Gideon the Ninth and Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Weir. Flamefall by Rosaria Munda. Rogue Princess by B.R. Myers. Girls of Paper and Fire and Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nyan. Sing Me Forgotten by Jessica S. Olson. The End of Oz and Dorothy Must Die Series Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Danielle Page. Moving down once again, and we've got the P's running into the R's. For items, I have this Skyline Lego of London. I have a Kiss of Deception placard, and I have a Kiss of Deception candle, as well as a macaroon box that I got from Paris, from one of my favorite shops. Dorothy Must Die Stories Volume 3 by Danielle Page. Seafire, Steel Tide, and Stormbreak by Natalie C. Parker. East and West by Edith Patu. The Kiss of Deception, The Heart of Betrayal, The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. Wild Magic by Tamora Pierce. Girls Like Us by Randy Pink. There Will Come a Darkness and As the Shadow Rises by Katie Rose Poole. Heart of Iron and Soul of Stars by Ashley Poston. Geekarella, The Princess and the Fangirl, and Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Poston. Songs from the Deep by Kelly Powell. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Moving on throughout the R's on this shelf for items, I have a Funko of Bender from Futurama, and this tea tin, a book box, which is We Hunt the Flame inspired. The Book of Spirits and Thieves and The Darkest Magic by Morgan Rhodes. Falling Kingdoms, Rebel Spring, Gathering Darkness, Frozen Tides, Crystal Storm, and Immortal Rain, all by Morgan Rhodes. Again But Better by Christine Riccio. Better Together by Christine Riccio. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Hollow City, Library of Souls, A Map of Days, and The Conference of Birds, all by Ransom Riggs. The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan. The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian, all by Rick Riordan. Lifestyles of Gods and Monsters by Emily Robertson. Stolen Time and Twisted Fates by Danielle Rollins. Crown of Coral and Pearl by Mara Rutherford. Moving on to the last shelf in this row, we have the R's going into the S. For items, I have an Addie LaRue candle, another macaroon box, 2 secret books which open up, which I've been getting from Owl Crate this year, another macaroon box, and a candle from Ash Princess. Kingdom of Sea and Stone by Mara Rutherford. The Winner's Crime and the Winner's Kiss by Marie Rutowski. Song of the Sparrow by Lisa Ann Sandell. Skyward and Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. Steel Heart by Brandon Sanderson. This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. A Gathering of Shadows and a Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. City of Ghosts and Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. Ash Princess, Lady Smoke, and Ember Queen by Laura Sebastian. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. The Priory, the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. And we've made it to the final row on the big bookshelves. I don't keep a ton of things on the bottom. For this one, I just have a big Pokeball and a candle down here. Unwind, Unholy, Unsold, Undivided, and Unbound by Neil Shusterman. Challenger Deep by Neil Shusterman. Dry by Neil Shusterman and Jared Shusterman. Game Changer by Neil Shusterman. Scythe, Thunderhead, and The Toll by Neil Shusterman. A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. Smash It by Francina Simone. Cloak of Night by Evelyn Skye. The Crown's Game and The Crown's Fate by Evelyn Skye. A Game of Fate and a Touch of Ruin by Scarlett St. Clair. Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. The Project by Courtney Summers. Sadie by Courtney Summers. Cracked Up to Be by Courtney Summers. House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. This Cruel Design by Emily Suvada. Cast in Firelight by Dana Swift. Moving over, for items on this shelf, I have a candle, my Ollivander's wand box, and a tea tin from one of my favorite teas, the Marie Antoinette. Docile by K.M. Spara. An Ember in the Ashes, A Torch Against the Night, A Reaper at the Gates, and A Sky Beyond the Storm by Saba Tahir. We Are the Fire by Sam Taylor. Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Dreams of Gods and Monsters, and Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. The Tiger at Midnight by Swati Tirdala. Reboot by Amy Tintera. Ruined, Avenged, and Allied by Amy Tintera. Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Enchantée and Everything That Burns by Gita Trellis. Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. For the final shelf, you'll see Reese in the corner there because I refuse to wake a sleeping puppy. For items on the final shelf, I have a Lego Arc de Triomphe and a Doctor Who police box. The Beast Player by Nahoko Ushashi. Fairest of Them All by Serena Valentino. The Cold Is in Her Bones by Pertnell Van Arsdale. Ironheart by Nina Varela. The Haunted by Danielle Vega. Blood Heir by Amelia Wenzao. Catherine of Aragon, The True Queen. Anne Boleyn, A King's Obsession. Jane Seymour, The Haunted Queen by Alison Weir. Anna of Cleve, The Princess in the Portrait. Catherine Howard, The Scandalous Queen. Catherine Parr, The Sixth Wife, all by Alison Weir. The Lady in the Tower by Alison Weir. The Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir. Uglies by Scott Westerfield. The Babysitter's Coven by Kate Williams. Crave by Tracy Wolfe. The Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee. Fable and Namesake by Adrian Young. Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. And The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. Moving over to the skinny shelves, we will again start on top. These are all really heavy and you know what they are, so I'm not going to take them out to show you the covers. For the top of the bookshelves, I have a Smaug and a Basilisk large Funko Pop, as well as a ice cream goblet from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I also have a Quidditch box as well as a Snitch. So for books, I have the 4 illustrated editions of Harry Potter as well as the illustrated A History of Magic. Moving over, I have the Slytherin editions of the Harry Potter series as well as 1 through 4 and 6 and 7 of the British editions. Moving down, I have a simple collection of mini Funkos as well as some bigger ones from the Harry Potter universe. I also have a Harry Potter candle and this Slytherin book Lego set. These are all the hardcover first editions of the American covers for Harry Potter. For this side, I have the French edition of the Half-Blood Prince, as well as the 20th anniversary editions of the paperbacks, a first edition paperback of The Sorcerer's Stone, Tales, the Beetle, the Bard, both the originals for Quidditch Through the Ages and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the 2 original screenplay books for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and The Crimes of Grindelwald, as well as the illustrated newer edition of and pop-up edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Moving down, I have my Sarah J. Maas collection. So for items, I have the Beacon Box series of mugs, which I hold bookmarks for. So in this mug are all of my Throne of Glass mugs. This one actually doesn't hold anything because this one's my favorite. This one holds all of my ACOTAR mugs, and this one over here holds all of my Crescent City mugs. I have a Rowan candle, a Rysand candle, and a Hunt candle, all from Briarwick. I have a Legolas Funko Pop, which I use as Rowan. And then from book boxes, I have the Valkyries and Leheba candles. I have the Throne of Glass coloring book, as well as the Court of Thorns and Roses coloring book, the special edition of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, the Barnes & Noble special Charlie Bowater reversible dust jacket version of Kingdom of Ash, the Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass, Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash. Now, I do have Airfire and Crown of Midnight, but Sarah is currently borrowing them. Then I have the special edition of A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Frost and Starlight. Continuing over onto this side, this is a majority of my ACOTAR collection. I have the original covers of A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury, as well as A Court of Wings and Ruin. And then these are technically the new hardcover editions, but I hate the covers. So I ended up getting the Illumicrate box for A Court of Silver Flames, which came with these gorgeous book covers. So I have the Ethereal art. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'll throw her Instagram below. Her art is fantastic. So I have her covers for all of the books. Here are books 1 and 2 there, and then books 3 and the novella Frost and Starlight. And then I have 2 editions of Silver Flames. I have the Barnes & Noble edition, which has the art dust jacket over it, and then I was actually able to snag a tour edition, which is this plain orange one with the gorgeous art on the bottom. And lastly, I have House of Earth and Blood, the first Crescent City novel. Moving down, the next 4 shelves are all of my Owl Crate and Fairy Loot editions. So for items on here, I have, these are all of my Woodmarks and Fairy Loot bookmarks. This is one of the pre-order incentives for the newest Cruel Prince book. I have a couple of candles, Mount Doom, Terracin, the Misty Mountains, and Thrundwheel. I also have 2 little dishes. One holds an elephant I got from India. The other holds a bunch of shells that I got on a vacation, as well as a little Hedwig who has fallen over. Now, I do these similar to the bigger bookshelves in alphabetical order by author. Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Barshadust. Lore by Alexandra Bracken. Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. Legendborn by Tracy Dion. Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. Shielded by Kaylin Flanders. The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. All the Stars and Teeth and All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. Goddess in the Machine by Laura Beth Johnson. Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. Horrid by Katrina Lino. The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. Continuing down with all of my special editions. For items, I have a Serpent and Dove Teton, I have this little hook thing that holds some weird bookmarks and some keychains. I have a serpent and dove candle. And then I have this cute little dish that holds more shells. And then this is another bookmark holder that holds all my like weirdly shaped and thicker bookmarks. The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. Serpent and Dove and Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Crown of Feathers and Heart of Flames by Nikki Paupretto. Bonecryer's Moon and Bonecryer's Dawn by Catherine Purdy. Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schulte. Witches Steeped in Gold by Sienna Smart. Star Daughter by Shweta Thakrar. Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrienne Tooley, and Crier's War by Nina Varela. Continuing down on these two shelves, I have my Book of the Month collection as well as my Shakespeare collection. So oddly enough, for this one, I actually do go in order of when they came out for Book of the Month. For items, I have these Lego Mandalorian and Baby Yoda Lego figures, as well as a beaker that holds a couple of my pens, and then a Lego Night Bus and a Lego Thunderbird. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. A Rogue of One's Own by Evie Dunmore. Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. The Two Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver. Beach Read by Emily Henry. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes by Alyssa R. Sloan. In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. Aradne by Jennifer Saint. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian. And then starting off my Shakespeare collection, I have King Lear, Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, Much Ado About Nothing, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Twelfth Night. And finally, on the bottom, these are actually pretty bare, I have a small collection of classics as well as some more Legos. So for classics, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Go Ask Alice by Anonymous. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. The Giver by Lois Lowry. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And these I actually won't take out because they're relatively fragile, but this is a 1960s box set of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So those are all of my books, at least the ones on the shelves. I do have 2 TBR carts and a couple of books scattered throughout my home that I don't really feel the need to go and find because I'm sure this video is long enough. So those are my bookshelves. I am very proud of them. I have been collecting books for years, so this collection did not just come about over a day or a week. This is years in the making, and I constantly, to keep up with making sure everything fits, even though some obviously don't, I unhaul a lot. If I don't like a book, I don't want to keep it. So I unhaul or I sell to keep it so that my house isn't overrun with books. It kind of already is, but so it's not extra. Either way, I am extra. And with that, I'm going to end this video. So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to our videos. We post videos every Tuesday and Thursday and the occasional Sunday. All of our links for social medias will be down below in the description, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!